Welcome back, Summoners. War number 6 of Season 55 is here, and after my death last war ended a roughly 75 fight deathless streak, it's time to start fresh and begin a new one. I'm sticking with Path 4 again, which has been treating me very well this season, and I'm bringing in my 3 current war favorites, Moleman, Luke Cage, and Ironheart. This trio has been putting in some good work, and I'm ready to put them to work again. Let's get into it and start building that streak back up. And our first fight up in this war is going to be Wiccan. Wiccan really doesn't bring much to anything with these nodes, so it is just a typical Wiccan fight. I'm going to try not to parry, and I want to bait his special ones, and Luke should be able to handle this just fine. So you can see there, we start off with an 18k crit on the medium. Not going to be a problem. Wiccan's health pool isn't very big. He can hit pretty hard. He is one of those, glass cannon champions where, the chip damage here you can see is really going to add up, but, really not much of a fear, as long as I don't mess up. Now we've got a little bit of an incinerate on us, not really going to matter with this current meta. And here we go into a special 2, and Wiccan is down, so, a little bit of chip damage, have to heal up, but a nice clean fight to start the war. And just a little side note here, that was fight number 36 for me this season. If you go back to last season, I only took 36 fights total all of last season. So halfway through the season, I've already matched my fight total from last, and we're going to kind of move on from there. So this fight up, if this was not a tactic fight, it's a little bit harder. Here, not going to be much of an issue. We're going to use Luke Cage. My plan is to bait Kindred's special 1, try and counter it to pause the infection timer, and then, preferably save a special for, that 1% root that he does. So here, you can see we're just kind of hitting into him. Nice little intercept there. Luke hitting like a tank. It's, pretty good. There we get the pause. You can see the pause timer up there now next to the infections. Here we're going to bait another special 1. We're going to counter it to restart that pause, and we're going to toss a special 2 and get a couple concussion buffs on him. There, I just wasn't quite ready, but, Luke with the invulnerability, doesn't matter. So there we go, we counter another special 1. Here we go into a striker, and I'm thinking I may be able to finish it. Let's go ahead and toss a special. I've got 2 concussions on there, and it pays off. I don't get rooted, don't have to worry about any of that. The concussions did their job. And we move ahead to section 2, and not sure of this placement. Kushala really does not have anything for this node. It's very similar to the Wiccan fight. So this is just going to be a Luke Cage beatdown. Prefer her to throw her special 1s. We'll counter her special 1s if the timing's right. If not, we'll just do parry 5-hit combos. I am not terribly worried about anything in this fight. So here we go. We get a couple combos in. Here we're going to knock her down just to get a couple more debuffs on there. The first little mess up, but like I said before, Luke with that invulnerability, you don't even need the 3-minute boost most of the time. There we are, almost bringing her down. Here we're just gonna, kind of block the first parts of it so we don't screw up again. And there you go, nice quick Luke Cage fight against Kushala. And last fight up is going to be Spot. Spot can be tricky, from time to time, but, I'm using Moleman. You know the deal here. There's nothing special in this fight for me that you haven't seen before. This is going to be parry heavy until I get, some monster mass build up. Let him hit into our block, go into frenzy, and then just smack him. That's really all Moleman is. He is just a monster when it comes to being able to put out a lot of damage quick. So there we go, we get a couple hits in. We're going to just parry heavy into our frenzy. Could have let him hit in the block. We might as well just get a parry in there. We're going to throw a special 2. We're going to stack on the bleeds, all those crits, and Spot is dead. All right, now we get to jump ahead to the minis. The first mini that we're going to go against is this Dust on 32nd. We've taken this fight before, and I've actually gotten to enjoy fighting Dust this season. It's been kind of odd after hating fighting her for so long to kind of get into the point where I enjoy the fight. In fact, I enjoy it so much, the most recent war number 8, I took this Dust with a Sentinel, And unfortunately, I failed to record, so I'm going to be missing a war video for war number 8. Just kind of a spoiler for coming up. But in this fight, we're going to do our typical Ironheart fight against Dust. We're going to back away. We're going to make sure we get clean parries. We're going to do the medium light mediums to stack on some incinerates. There we go. So we now have all the incinerates. We can kind of parry whenever we need to now, but we're still going to kind of fight this the same way. We're going to back off and make sure we get clean parries. We're going to throw special 1s. On this node, I could go special 2s, but, no sense kind of doing something different and, just sticking with what works here. We're going to stack on as many incinerates as we can. They don't do a lot of damage, but, you can see all those red numbers going. They start adding up over time. I can't keep track of how much damage it's doing, per second there, but, there's a fair number of little red numbers floating up there. So, and, we've stacked on roughly 20 incinerates. So, it's going to keep the regen in check. Now all we have to do is, bait her special 1s, get clean dexes on the special 1s, and just kind of keep going. So, if this fight takes a minute and a half, it takes a minute and a half, and it's clean. So here we go, another special 1 from her. We get the nice clean dex. We back away, make sure we get a good clean parry. Now we're up to 25 incinerates. There we go. Now we're just going to finish it off with a special 1. Almost got up to 30 incinerates on that fight. Not that it was a goal, but, just got to have some fun in it where you can. All right, next fight up is this Scorpion on the Hazard Shift Shock Bleed. It's got Conflictor, so every once in a while my debuffs are going to get eaten, and, it's going to give him some power. Not a big deal. The main thing here is to kind of just watch out for the Scorpion Sense and his evade. So, kind of keeping an eye on the little counter that's counting down there. We've got 10 more hits that we've got to get in before his evade. Here we kind of push him up to a special 2. We're going to bait that special 2 out. And, here we go. Now he's got the Scorpion Sense evade up. So ideally you just want to hit him when he is stunned when that happens. And there, I thought I could get the special 2 off while he was still stunned. It didn't work. He evaded. Not a big deal. I didn't get punished for it. Very easily could have. Even if I did, though, Luke still had his invulnerability up, so it wasn't the end of the world. And here, now we're just kind of going all out. We're going to bait another special 2. And I like fights, in this tactic using Luke, because if you look at my health, throughout this fight, I've gained health. So, it's always nice to be able to heal up during a war fight. All right, and the last fight up for us in this war is going to be against Mangog here on node 46. And we've taken this fight before. Using Luke Cage, the plan is kind of simple. 4-hit combos. If we do push Mangog to a SP2, let's just go ahead and try to get him the whole way to the SP3. I'm throwing on an invuln boost, plus Luke's natural invulnerability. We should be able to tank a couple SP3s with no problem. So, that's kind of the plan. If he throws special 1s, great. What we'll try to do is if he gets close to being enraged, at his 10 stacks, we'll knock him down like we just did there to put the slow on him so we don't have to worry about the unstoppable that he'll get. And, you can see here, we've already got 6 exhaustions up. His power gain's mostly under control, not completely, but, we're just going to keep stacking exhaustions, keep doing 4-hit combos. Here, we throw an SP2. We were in a good spot to do it. I figured it was going to push him close to a special 2, but you know what? Like I said, if we get him to a special 2, we might as well just take him the whole way to a special 3. There, well, I wasn't ready for the heavy. But the good thing is, right after that heavy, he threw the special 3. I've got my invulnerability up, my natural indestructible. So, here, the special 3 does absolutely no damage. And now we can counter again, and we're going to toss another SP2 off there, simply because we're close to the hatred stack. At 7, he's at 8, now he's at 10, and you can see there, he doesn't go unstoppable because I have the slow on there, so we just do a little combo to finish him off, and that wraps up this war. So that was a nice little 7-fight war to get a new streak started. And looking at the season, I am now up to 42 kills and 1 death on the season. It feels good to be back on track and start a new streak. As always, the mini account fights are up next, so stick around if you want more war action. If not, please hit that like button, subscribe, and feel free to drop a comment down below. Until the next one, take care all.